Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. The Peerless Emperor, summoning the protagonist at the beginning. Lin Xuan traveled to a world of martial arts and prosperity, becoming a useless prince who grew up in a cold palace since childhood. At the beginning, he was sent to the border and was tragically attacked and killed. Fortunately, the awakening of the heavenly summoning system can summon powerful beings from all over the world to come and serve. Ding. Congratulations to the host for summoning the Holy Maiden of the Yin Gui Sect. Ding. Congratulations to the host for summoning the Lord of the Yihua Palace to invite the moon. Ding. Congratulations to the host for summoning the heavenly sovereign organization Murong Qiudi. Not long after, Lin Xuan's fiefdom became a terrifying martial arts forbidden area in the martial arts world. Starting from a small border town, stirring up the world and reaching the summit. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Crossing the Exiled Prince and Binding the Summoning System. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Wilderness Mountains, Waning Moon, Dilapidated Temple. Lin Xuan slumped on the ground and chewed a piece of mantu that was as hard as stone. On the nearby campfire, a plump wild boar is roasting at this moment, emitting a tempting aroma. Lin Xuan glanced at him admiringly, then lowered his head to continue to eat mantu. I must have crossed in the wrong way. Lin Xuan murmured to himself. As a talented young man of the 21st century and a top bookworm who has been baptized by countless online novels, Lin Xuan quickly accepts the idea of traveling through time. However, other people's journeys were all sensational, while Lin Xuan himself felt a bit miserable. This is Lin Xuan's current identity as the fourth prince of the Dao dynasty. The prince of the imperial dynasty seems to have a high status. However, this prince was actually a despondent prince and also the most despised prince. After receiving the memories left by his predecessor, Lin Xuan was also very speechless. When she was first born, her mother died due to difficult childbirth. Afterwards, the eunuchs around her also died suddenly due to various reasons. After seeing Lin Xuan, the national teacher of the current dynasty bluntly stated that the fourth prince carried the fate of the heavenly Sha Lone Star. From then on, his predecessor lived alone in the cold palace until the age of 18. A few days ago, the emperor Yu also remembered his son for some reason. With a decree, the prince who had lived in the cold palace since childhood was granted the title of King of Mo Mountain, the fiefdom of Mo Mountain City, and was ordered to immediately seal it. Without an edict, he was not allowed to return to the capital. Mozhan City is a small border town in the vast northern region, known for its bitter cold. This basically also represents that Emperor Yu has completely abandoned his son, allowing him to live and die on his own. Perhaps due to growing up in the cold palace since childhood, my predecessor had extremely poor physical condition and died quietly on a night just a few days away from Beijing. And Lin Xuan happened to cross over and become the new Mozhan king of the Dao dynasty. Lin Xuan tried to swallow a small piece of mantu into his stomach, but he was too hungry. As for the roasted wild boar not far away, Lin Xuan knew that he was not fortunate enough to enjoy it. Although he is a prince, it is obvious that these guards who escort him to the domain do not take him seriously. Along the way, I didn't show any good looks. Not to mention the food, just give some dry food casually. I'm really miserable. Lin Xuan wanted to cry without tears. According to some memories left by our predecessors, this world is a world of martial arts and prosperity. Not long ago, Lin Xuan also witnessed with his own eyes the commander of the guard, Zhu Yingling, crossing tens of zhang in emptiness and killing a wild boar with a punch. It's just such a world. Lin Xuan's physical condition at this time is not as good as in his previous life. You should know Lin Xuan from his past life, but he drank the fat house happy water every day and didn't exercise for a long time. In the memories left in my mind, there is actually a basic cultivation technique. That was an old eunuch who once lived in the palace. Seeing that his predecessor was pitiful and weak, he passed it on to him. But to my surprise, my predecessor had no cultivation talent and could not even get started. When Lin Xuan complained and felt sorry for himself and chewed mantu with difficulty, suddenly, a voice rang out in Lin Xuan's mind. Ding! Host detected, the heavenly summoning system has been activated. Ding! The heavenly summoning system has been bound to the host. As the host is bound to the system for the first time, a random summoning opportunity and a random lottery will be given to the host. Ding! It has been detected that the host's body is extremely weak, and a special gift of the host's creation pill is given. A series of sounds made Lin Xuan feel a bit confused for a moment. But soon, Lin Xuan reacted and felt a burst of ecstasy in his heart. System. Golden Finger. It's been a day of travel, finally here it is. Quickly, relevant information about the system came to mind. The so-called Heavenly Summoning System refers to the system through which Lin Xuan can summon characters from novels, movies, and other mythological legends he has read in his past life. The system will randomly trigger some tasks, and after completing the tasks, you can receive summoning times and lottery opportunities. As for the lottery, we will also randomly draw some items, pills, or techniques from the various heavens and realms. Based on the information in the mind, the system will continue to upgrade as the host's strength improves, and new features will be opened up at that time. Lin Xuan took a deep breath to calm himself down. I looked around and found that the guards didn't pay attention to me at all. Just as Lin Xuan was preparing to experience the system, the mechanical sound of the system rang out again. Ding! Activate random tasks. Ding! Task release. Kill Zhu Ying. Due to the guardian leader Zhu Ying's intention to kill the host, killing Zhu Ying's host can earn 1 random summon and 1 random draw. Nanny. Upon hearing the task released by the system, Lin Xuan's back felt a chill. Lin Xuan has no doubts about the accuracy of the system. As for Zhu Ying, Lin Xuan never expected that Zhu Ying would actually want to kill himself. I don't seem to have any grudges with him. At this moment, Zhu Ying was sitting by the campfire, roasting a wild boar leg very seriously. Having seen Zhu Ying's strength, Lin Xuan knew that if Zhu Ying were to kill himself, he would only need a little thumb. Time is tight, and Lin Xuan doesn't know what Zhu should do. System, I need to summon quickly, Lin Xuan said anxiously in his heart. If you want to break the game, just see who you can summon. The joy of obtaining the system is now replaced by tension. Ding! The system is summoning. Ding! Congratulations to the host for summoning the loyalty of the protagonist in Twin Dragons of the Tang Dynasty. P.S. The new book is on its way, and I hope everyone supports it. Chapter 2. Summoning the Dragon, Demonstrating the Killing Machine. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. He is an outstanding descendant of the Yin Gui school of the Demon sect in the Twin Dragons of the Tang Dynasty. In terms of strength, is definitely not weak in the Tang Dynasty. Especially in the later stage, Yan Yan practiced the heavenly demon technique to the 18th level, surpassing her teacher, Yin Empress Zhu Yuyan. However, Lin Xuan still felt a bit nervous because this world was not Tang Dynasty after all. Through understanding the system, Lin Xuan knew that the system would make some modifications to the summoned object when integrating into this world. In my mind, the attribute interface of has already appeared. Lin Xuan quickly checked. From the Twin Dragons of the Tang Dynasty race. Human race. Cultivation. Mid-congenital stage. Practice. Heavenly demon technique, heart-searching sword technique. Loyalty. 100, congenital mid-term. Lin Xuan felt a lot of relief in his heart. Although the memories left by the predecessor are not many, because the predecessor mostly lived in a cold palace. However, some basic common sense still exists. In this world, martial arts cultivation starts at level 1 and continues until level 9. Breaking through the 9th grade is innate. At this moment, Zhu Ying, who is roasting wild boar legs not far from Lin Xuan, has only an 8th grade cultivation. As for some other guards, although they are all elite in the imperial capital, their cultivation level is mostly around 4th or 5th grade. Just as Lin Xuan was preparing for a random lottery, he found that Zhu Ying suddenly stood up. Since the system reminded Zhu Ying of his murderous intentions, Lin Xuan has been constantly monitoring Zhu Ying. The wild boar legs on the campfire are now burnt and fragrant, with a tempting aroma wafting in the air. I saw Zhu Ying pick up the wild boar leg and walk straight towards Lin Xuan. Are you going to take action? Lin Xuan's eyes narrowed slightly. Zhu Ying walked up to Lin Xuan and gave him a pitiful glance, but in an instant, his gaze turned fierce. Thinking of a prince who was about to die in his own hands, Zhu Ying was extremely excited. Your Highness, this is the wild boar leg I just baked. Your Highness, why don't you try it? Zhu Ying handed the wild boar leg in his hand to Lin Xuan and spoke. Zhu Ying is not in a hurry because so many days have already come. Lin Xuan smelled the fragrance emanating from the wild boar legs, and his stomach, which had not seen any oily water for several days, felt a bit disheartened. Thank you very much, General Zhu. Lin Xuan didn't hesitate and directly took the roasted pig leg. Opening the mouth, a large piece of meat enters the abdomen. Not to mention, Zhu Ying's barbecue skills are actually very good. Lin Xuan's actions left Zhu Ying momentarily stunned. The Mo Mountain King in front of him seemed somewhat different from before. In those days before, this Mo Mountain King was always obedient and didn't dare to say a word to himself. Even if the food he gave him had already become moldy, he dared not mention it. Seeing this, Zhu Ying couldn't help but feel interested. Your Highness, how can you eat meat without wine? Zhu Ying said as he untied the wine jug from his waist. Lin Xuan took the wine jug and drank it in one gulp. Good wine. Lin Xuan's eyes lit up, as this exotic wine had quite different flavors. Your Highness, aren't you curious why I invited him to eat meat and drink? Zhu Ying asked curiously as he looked at Lin Xuan, who was enjoying his life. This should be the severed rice that Commander Zhu sent me on the road. Lin Xuan took a sip of the wine and then calmly glanced at Zhu Ying, saying. I didn't expect His Highness to guess, but I underestimated His Highness, Zhu Ying said with a smile. Your Highness, don't worry. I will wait until you have eaten and drunk enough before sending Your Highness on the road. After all, Your Highness is a prince, and I will make His Highness walk more dignified. Zhu Ying continued. Lin Xuan bit down another piece of meat and chewed it. I'm a bit curious, who asked you to kill me? Lin Xuan was somewhat puzzled. His predecessor's identity was the most despised prince, who grew up in a cold palace and theoretically had no enemies. There was no grudge against the Zhu Ying in front of him. Who is it that would actually kill oneself? Your Highness, it's better to be a bit confused in life. Zhu Ying did not answer Lin Xuan's question. At this moment, a nearby guard walked over and gave Lin Xuan a disgusted look. Commander, why are you talking so much to this useless prince? Kill him with one blow. That's right, I heard that the national teacher said more than a decade ago that this useless person was a celestial ghost and a solitary star. We have been with this useless person for so many days, so don't let bad luck hang on us. There are also guards who respond to the Tao. Aren't we unlucky? After taking this job, we won't be able to live as real people tonight, complained a guard. Lin Xuan, after all, is a prince or a king of Mount Mo. These guards dare not openly kill Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan died, and they also died. For the sake of future glory and prosperity, everyone will feel aggrieved. When the Lord ascends the throne, we will all be heroes. At this moment, another sound sounded. Upon hearing these words, Lin Xuan frowned slightly. A simple sentence reveals a lot. Is it the crown prince or the second prince? Lin Xuan pondered. However, Lin Xuan still didn't understand why he wanted to kill himself. In theory, I have no conflict with them and pose no threat to the throne. Without a clear idea, Lin Xuan stopped pondering. The main thing is the words spoken by the guards, which are really unpleasant, one waste at a time, and extremely harsh. Alright, we can go on the road now, Lin Xuan wiped off his oily hands and said indifferently. Then I'll see His Highness off all the way. Zhuing grinned and pulled out his large knife from his waist. The blade is sharp, and the forest aura is pressing. I'm talking about you, not me, Lin Xuan said as he looked at Zhuing. Is this useless prince foolish? I guess it's because I heard that growing up in a cold palace may have ruined my brain. Upon hearing Lin Xuan's words, the guards inside the dilapidated temple burst into laughter. However, Lin Xuan doesn't care at the moment, as these people will soon die. Hey, don't look at the excitement anymore. Hurry up and come out, Lin Xuan said. What is it? Zhu and the guards were all stunned. Is it difficult for this prince's side to be protected by experts? But I didn't notice it along the way. Zhu should have made a decisive decision, regardless of whether the fourth prince was bluffing or not. He raised his sword and directly attacked Lin Xuan. At this moment, a seductive laughter like a silver bell suddenly rang from the dilapidated temple. Under the traction of this laughter, even Zhu Ying's movements slowed down a lot. In the dilapidated temple, a beautiful shadow suddenly appeared. A snow-white ribbon, like lightning, wrapped around the large knife in Zhu Ying's hand like a ghost. Zhu Ying felt a tremendous force coming from the big knife, and his tiger's mouth trembled. Unable to hold the big knife in his hand anymore, Zhu Ying let out a muffled groan and retreated straight away. Zhu Ying was shocked, followed by fear. Chapter 3. Strong and Brave People. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Just a brief confrontation, Zhu Ying felt that the other party's cultivation was far above his own. Until now, the qi and blood in Zhu Ying's body were still churning. How could it be? Zhu Ying couldn't believe it or understand. Why? Why does this prince, who grew up in the cold palace, still have such skilled guards around him? Dozens of guards in the dilapidated temple are now on guard as if facing a great enemy. At the same time, the figure of also completely emerged. It landed in front of Lin Xuan. Beauty, it's just too beautiful. With a slender figure in white clothes and bare feet, she is truly the epitome of human beauty. Lin Xuan's eyes flashed with a hint of amazement, such a beauty that he had never seen before in his past life. Not to mention Lin Xuan, among those guards, those with poor composure also felt a bit stunned when they saw him. Who are you? Zhu Yingping stroked his restless breath and asked in a muffled voice as he stared at Yen. However, the man ignored Zhu Ying's question and instead looked at him. I have met your highness, my lord. With a Ying bow, I saluted Lin Xuan. Zhu Ying couldn't help but feel a little angry when he saw that Xiao Yan ignored him. Miss, the fourth prince is destined to die. I advise you not to go against the sky. You can't afford to provoke the people behind me. Zhu Ying, fearing the power of Yen, did not directly take action, but threatened with words. Upon hearing Zhu Ying's words, a cold light flickered in her beautiful eyes, and a killing intent surged. Is already a witch of the demon gate, how could she care about these threatening words? However, Yen did not directly take action, but turned his gaze to Lin Xuan. Kill them all. Lin Xuan said coldly. Okay, your highness. Upon hearing Lin Xuan's command, Yen immediately took action. Let's go together. Zhu Ying simply gave the order in an instant. The cultivation of this mysterious woman is very strong. Zhu Ying knows that she is not a match, but now she is struggling and has to fight. On my side, there are dozens of people, and it cannot be said that there is not a single chance. However, soon Zhu Ying realized how wrong his ideas were. Zhu Ying still underestimated the strength of Innate. Zhu Ying hesitated to crack his eyes. I saw dozens of guards, who had not yet approached me. It was entangled by two ghostly heavenly magic ribbons. That day, the magic ribbon seemed to be the sickle of death, and the guards fell to the ground and died with just one touch. In just one breath, most of Zhu Ying's guards had already died. Innate experts, only innate experts can achieve all of this. Innate invincibility, Zhu Ying has already become desperate. However, Zhu Ying has no way out. If the fourth prince doesn't die today, even if he escapes, he will still be dead. Zhu Ying, with a hint of determination, attacked towards the enemy. I didn't expect the gap to be so big. This was Zhu Ying's last thought. He is no different from those ordinary guards, and he is not a 1.1 enemy in the face of those who give their all. The vitality quickly dissipated, and this expert who seemed very powerful before Lin Xuan died like this. Lin Xuan is also dumbfounded at this moment. He didn't expect it to be so strong. Killing these guards was like killing a chicken. Before Lin Xuan could react, all of them died. Lin Xuan didn't even have time to leave a living mark for the people. After all, he didn't know who sent these people. However, it doesn't matter anymore. With the heavenly summoning system, Lin Xuan doesn't care anymore. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the random task, obtaining a chance for random summoning and a chance for a random lottery. The sound of the system rings in the mind at the right time. At this moment, with one random lottery opportunity given by the beginner still unused, Lin Xuan has a total of 2 random lottery opportunities. However, Lin Xuan did not conduct a lottery. In this dilapidated temple, there are still dozens of corpses lying, and the bloody smell is really uncomfortable. Lin Xuan suppressed his discomfort and walked up to Zhu Ying's body. I saw a huge dent on Zhu Ying's chest, which was caused by being hit by the heavenly demon ribbon. Lin Xuan secretly licked his tongue. That day, the magic ribbon looked just an ordinary ribbon, so powerful in the hands of Yen. Lin Xuan didn't care about the bloodstains and searched Zhu Ying's body. I have no choice but to be too poor. I don't even have a copper coin on my body. There is still some time left for the journey to Mozhan, and it will cost money on the way. Fortunately, the wealth carried by Zhu Ying was quite abundant, enough for Lin Xuan to arrive at the fiefdom with nourishment in the future. After the search was completed, Lin Xuan set fire to Zhu Ying and his guards, as well as the dilapidated temple on the mountain. The night was as dark as ink, and the ruined temple was burned down. Lin Xuan had no choice but to leave with Yen. At this time, it is deep autumn, and the wild beasts in the mountains and forests are roaring, which is quite terrifying. However, Lin Xuan was not afraid of being accompanied by experts such as Yen. Just the cold wind howling at night, Lin Xuan's physical body was extremely weak and couldn't bear it. Lin Xuan couldn't help but wrap his clothes tightly around his body, but before taking a few steps, he was panting heavily and unable to work hard. Ah, this body is too weak, Lin Xuan said in silence. Your Highness. As an innate expert, Yen quickly noticed Lin Xuan's abnormality and exclaimed with concern. At the same time, Yen extended his Qianshan jade hand and grasped Lin Xuan's palm. A stream of heat emanated from the palm of Yan's hand and entered Lin Xuan's body. The heat flowed through Lin Xuan's body for a week, and he instantly felt much more comfortable. The coldness dissipated, and even the body regained a lot of strength. Your Highness's body frowned. How about it? Lin Xuan asked. After a moment of deliberation, the man replied, very bad. The 8 extraordinary meridians are broken, and their qi and blood are severely depleted. I have limited knowledge and there is nothing I can do about it. Your Highness's vitality is probably only a little over a month, said Yen with great disappointment. After hearing this, Lin Xuan didn't take it seriously either. Due to the frailty of this body, the system reluctantly gave an additional pill of creation as a gift. Although Lin Xuan doesn't know what level of pill it is, it's a pill for creating good fortune. But the system's products are definitely not ordinary. Your Highness, if you walk the night road with your body, you won't be able to bear it. Let me take you on a journey, said the servant with some heartache. Next, Lin Xuan felt a bit helpless. Come on, I've traveled through time, and the warm jade still hasn't been in my arms. I was first held in my arms by a beautiful woman. So, while using his lightness skills, he surrounded his true qi and protected Lin Xuan. Not to mention, this posture is also quite comfortable. Hey, do you know Zhu Yuyan? As Lin Xuan hurried on, he curiously asked. I have some doubts. The name Zhu Yuyan is somewhat familiar, but I don't recognize it myself. Lin Xuan didn't take it seriously either, and he couldn't figure out how to implant the system himself. The two chatted casually and soon arrived at a nearby town. Although it was already late at night and the city gate had already been locked, the two of them easily entered the city with their light skills. Chapter 4. Creation Pill, Innate Qiankun Skill. You are listening at novel full.audio. The two of them entered the city and quickly found an inn to stay in. On the way here, Lin Xuan learned that in today's world, the heavenly demon technique had only reached the 15th level of cultivation, which couldn't help but disappoint him. This heavenly demon technique requires cultivation to the 18th level. However, it's just a little disappointment. After all, my body is even weaker now. After a simple wash, Lin Xuan still didn't feel sleepy. What happened today is really a bit exciting. I have been in this world for almost a day now. The golden finger has also arrived, and Lin Xuan has some expectations for the future. System, give me the creation pill. Lin Xuan silently recited in his heart. Soon, a pill the size of a longan appeared in front of Lin Xuan. I saw that the pill was all blue with a misty aura circulating on it. A pungent aroma came from Lin Xuan, and with just a sip, he felt refreshed and happy, feeling incredibly comfortable all over his body. Lin Xuan called out for someone to protect the Dharma before taking this creation pill. The introduction of the system states that after taking this creation pill, Lin Xuan will fall into a coma. Your Highness, what kind of pill is this? As soon as I arrived, my gaze was attracted by the creation pill. This medicine smells good. Your Highness, I feel like I'm about to break through to the 16th level of the heavenly demon Dharma soon, exclaimed Yen with joy. Even the person in the middle stage of the congenital period only smelled the medicinal fragrance and had such a reaction. Lin Xuan couldn't help but have even greater expectations for this creation pill. After giving orders, Lin Xuan swallowed the creation pill in one gulp. The pill turned into a liquid at the entrance. Follow your throat and enter your abdomen. Immediately afterwards, Lin Xuan felt a mysterious aura rising from his lower abdomen. Not long after, there was a tingling sensation all over my body. The whole person seems to be bathed in sunlight. Extremely comfortable. Gradually, Lin Xuan completely lost consciousness. When Lin Xuan woke up again, it was already the afternoon of the next day. Lin Xuan slept for almost 6 hours during this sleep. Your Highness, you have finally woken up. Lin Xuan just opened his eyes and a pretty face appeared in front of him. Exactly. How Lin Xuan felt that his current state was really excellent. Clear and refreshed, as if there is an inexhaustible force in the body. Hey, can you investigate my current health? Lin Xuan was also very curious about the efficacy of this creation pill. Extended his jade hand and explored Lin Xuan's body. How could it be? The man looked incredulous. This exploration startled me. If it weren't for constantly standing by Lin Xuan's side, everyone would suspect that Lin Xuan in front of them had been replaced. Just a pill made a useless person whose vitality was about to be cut off, and in a few hours, he became an unparalleled genius. I had never heard of such divine medicines before. The system is not deceiving me. Lin Xuan was also greatly pleased in his heart. Let Lin Xuan go to rest, and once again immerse himself in the system. I still have 2 random draws and 1 random summon that I haven't used yet. Lin Xuan has some expectations. System, conduct a random lottery. Lin Xuan ordered. As for summoning, it's not urgent. We'll talk about it after the draw. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the innate Qiankun skill from Legend of the Emperor. Congenital Qiankun Gong. Lin Xuan felt ecstatic in his heart. Although I haven't seen much about the past life of the legendary emperor, I still have a little understanding. This innate Qiankun skill is the supreme divine skill created by Ji Xianyuan, who has been studying the river map day and night for 20 years, and has come to understand the principles of yin and yang and the 8 trigrams. Soon, a mysterious spell appeared in Lin Xuan's mind. Lin Xuan couldn't afford to continue the lottery and began to comprehend this innate Qiankun skill. This innate Qiankun skill is the power to move the yin and yang of heaven and earth, absorbing the vigorous qi of heaven and earth for personal use. Lin Xuan sat cross-legged on the bed, practicing the mind technique of innate Qiankun Gong. Suddenly, countless invisible vortices appeared around Lin Xuan's body, and within those vortices flowed the energy of heaven and earth. And Lin Xuan's aura also quickly grew. First level martial arts. Second level martial arts. Not long after, Lin Xuan's aura reached the 5th level of martial arts. There are many martial artists who can cultivate to the 5th level of martial arts, but there are definitely no ones like Lin Xuan who can do it so quickly. Among the guards under Zhu Ying's command, none of them have been practicing hard for more than 10 years. The commotion here by Lin Xuan naturally alarmed the person next door. However, the person who has already undergone the baptism of the creation pill is now no longer strange. What is in my heart is just joy. How Lin Xuan exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. My body, with its current qualifications, is truly extraordinary. Practicing is indeed fast. However fast, there is also a limit. Quickly cultivate to the 5th level of martial arts, and the subsequent improvement speed is not as fast as before. System, continue with the lottery. Lin Xuan silently recited in his heart. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the black silk robe from Lianqingju. The lottery reward this time was not so incredible, but Lin Xuan was also very satisfied. This black silk garment is woven from black silk from the snow-capped mountains, and can definitely be considered an excellent protective treasure. Diyun relied on this black silk robe multiple times to save his life. Soon, 2 pieces of material appeared in front of Lin Xuan that didn't look like clothes at all. This is the black silk garment. Lin Xuan tried to wear this black silk robe on his body, although it was not beautiful, it was quite comfortable. However, wearing it inside doesn't care whether it's beautiful or not. System, perform random summoning. Lin Xuan is also not in the ink, and is preparing to use the chance of random summoning as well. Lin Xuan was looking forward to it very much. The first time he summoned someone, he didn't know who he could summon this time. If it were Zhu Yuyan, it would be great. Zhu Yuyan shouldn't have the trouble of the 18th level of the heavenly demon Dharma, Lin Xuan muttered. Ding. Congratulations to the host for summoning Lu Shi from Little Fish and Flowers without missing. Lu Shi. Lin Xuan was stunned. Nima. Lin Xuan couldn't help but curse profusely. How to summon a eunuch over? What do I need this eunuch for? Little fish and flowers are perfect. Why isn't it an invitation to the moon? Isn't it popular to invite people to start the month now? Even if it's not an invitation to the moon, Lianxing can do it. No matter how bad it is, even Jiang Yuyan can accept it. Lin Xuan complained madly that this was the first time that Lin Xuan felt that the system was not so cute. P.S. Newcomers new book, we need everyone's support. Please find some fresh flowers and review tickets. Thank you very much. Chapter 5. Eunuch Lu Shi, Emerging Dark Ghost Path. You are listening at novel full.audio. While roast, Lin Xuan opened Lu Shi's attribute interface. Lu Shi. From Little Fish and Flowers Without Shortage Race. Human Race. Cultivation. Innate Perfection. Cultivation Method. The Great Technique of Absorbing Energy. Loyalty. 100 Innate Perfection. Lin Xuan was somewhat surprised. This Lu Shi's strength is actually much stronger than that of Yen. This made Lin Xuan feel much more comfortable in his heart. Suddenly, Lin Xuan noticed that there was a line of notes below Lu Shi's attribute interface. Comes with 30 factory guards, including single left single right martial arts 9th grade, talk about heaven and earth martial arts 8th grade, and the rest of ordinary factory guards are all 6th grade. This note completely dispelled Lin Xuan's small dissatisfaction with the system. Lin Xuan had just logged out of the system when he suddenly appeared in the room. At this moment, the pretty face of the girl was filled with a solemn expression. Your Highness, a large number of experts suddenly appeared around the inn, possibly pursuers, said Ju. 2 9th grade, 2 8th grade, and many 6th grade. There is another person, whose breath is like a deep abyss, and whose strength is far above mine. Yan Xiu frowned, as if facing a great enemy. Your Highness, hurry up. I'll help you delay the time, said the speaker anxiously. Upon hearing Lin Xuan's words, his heart warmed. Don't worry, it should be one of your own people, Lin Xuan said with relief as he held on to the jade hand of my own person. I was a bit puzzled. That His Highness in front of him seems to have countless mysteries on his body, which cannot be seen clearly. Lin Xuan walked out of the room holding the hand of the old man. In the lobby of the inn, there was an immense silence at this moment. All the guests are in place and dare not move. The owner of the inn also had a frightened expression on his face, afraid to step forward. I saw 30 factory guards standing neatly in the center of the lobby. Flying fish suit. Embroidered spring knife. Every factory guard exudes a murderous aura. At first glance, it was walking out of the mountains of corpses and blood. How can ordinary people withstand this kind of aura? In front of the 30 factory guards stood a eunuch with a white face, dressed in a deep blue robe, and wearing a 3-mountain crown. This person is Lu Shi. After seeing Lin Xuan and Yan Yan come out, Lu Shi quickly stepped forward and bowed to the ground. Old slave Lu Shi from the East Factory, pay respects to the prince. Suddenly, Lu Shi paused for a moment. Then he continued, see the queen. Immediately afterwards, the 30 factory guards in the rear also fell to the ground together. Farewell to the prince. Farewell to the queen. Speak in unison. Upon hearing Lu Shi and a group of factory guards addressing her, a rare hint of shyness appeared on her pretty face. I wanted to speak up to defend myself, but I never said it. Everyone get up. Lin Xuan said lightly. No. 30 factory guards responded in unison. This scene truly stunned the ordinary people next to them. They never expected to see a royal prince in such a remote small town. The people around them also hurriedly saluted. Lu Shilai's movements are a bit loud, and it's not very convenient to continue staying at this inn. After a simple tidying up, Lin Xuan decided to set off. Lu Shi truly came out of the palace and arranged his upcoming itinerary in an orderly manner. It was even more thoughtful to find a luxurious carriage. The car is covered with exquisite carpets and placed with delicious dim sum and fruits. Lin Xuan finally felt that this was the prince's life. In the blink of an eye, 3 days hurriedly passed. The distance to the northern border of Dao is getting closer and closer. Lin Xuan had some small expectations about what his fiefdom would look like. Although I heard earlier that Mo Mountain is a place of bitter cold. However, after all, it is one's own fiefdom. In 3 days, Lin Xuan's cultivation has reached the 7th level of martial arts. Although this cultivation speed is not as fast as when I first took the creation pill, it can still be considered astonishing. You're okay, you've adapted. But Lu Shi, a naturally perfect expert, was frightened. His suction technique allows for rapid progress in cultivation. But it's not as good as Lin Xuan. The closer you get to the northern border, the harder it becomes to travel, and there are more and more mountain roads. The convoy slowly entered a valley. The name of this valley is Shiyuan Valley, which is a necessary path to the north. Next, I'll trouble the 2 sect leaders. In the dense forest deep in the Shiyuan Valley, a middle-aged man dressed in a blue robe said to 2 mysterious people whose bodies were shrouded in black robes. Jia, when it comes to handling affairs in our secret ghost way, you can have 100 hearts at ease. One of the mysterious people in black robes responded in a sharp voice. Dark Ghost Road. The notorious demon sect in the Dao Jianghu. Kill and set fire to all evil deeds. The Zhenbei divine skill is an evil martial art called the 10,000 Ghost Soul Searching Manual, which is extremely eerie. The strength of the Dark Ghost Road is extremely strong, and it can definitely be considered top-notch in the vast and secluded world. His main cultivation has already reached the realm of transformation. It is rumored that the leader of the righteous path, the head of the Yihua Palace, once had a battle with the Dark Ghost Path leader, and the 2 did not have a clear winner. In addition to the Taoist master, there are also 4 major soul hunters in the Dark Ghost Path, all of whom are masters and experts. Under the 4 major soul summoners, there are also 10 sect leaders who are the backbone of the Dark Ghost Path. Each of these 10 sect leaders is an innate realm. At this moment, the 2 people hidden in this dense forest are 2 of the 10 sect leaders of the Dark Ghost Road. The cultivation of these 2 individuals is undoubtedly in their later innate stage. He was shrouded in a ghostly aura, eerie and terrifying. Chapter 6. Obstruction, behind the scenes Black Hand appears. You are listening at novel full.audio. Inside the carriage, Lu Shi, who had been keeping his eyes closed and recuperating, suddenly opened his eyes. A killing intent spread from Lu Shi, and the temperature in the carriage seemed to drop several degrees in an instant. However, Lu Shi quickly realized and quickly restrained her breath. What's wrong, Duke Lu? Lu Shi's actions naturally surprised Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan was just leaning against Yan, flipping through some books of the Dao Imperial Dynasty. The memories left by my predecessor are too few. After all, I have been in the cold palace for a long time and have not had much understanding of the outside world. So, Lin Xuan asked Xianxia and Shan Right to search for some books about the customs and traditions of the Dao dynasty, as well as some interesting stories in the martial arts world. Not to mention, some of the written works are quite interesting. Prince, there may be experts ahead. The old slave felt the killing intent. The person on the side, upon hearing Lu Shi's words, tried to sense something, but found nothing. However, I have no doubts about Lu Shi's words. After all, in terms of cultivation, Lu Shi is much stronger than me at this time. How many people? What strength? Lin Xuan was also amazed. Lu Shi shook his head and said, the distance is a bit far, and the old servant only felt the killing intent. Maybe it's not targeting us, Lin Xuan said with a dismissive smile. After all, the martial arts world is quite chaotic, with daily grudges and killings. Lin Xuan picked up a book called Jianhu Anecdotes in his hand and said. The carriage continued to move forward and soon arrived at the depths of the Shiyuan Valley. There are 3 people in total, 2 are born in the late stage, and 1 only has the 8th grade of martial arts. As the distance grew closer, Lu Shi finally sensed the number of people and strength. After realizing that the expert ahead posed no threat to her, Lu Shi also relaxed. Just as Lu Shi was about to continue closing his eyes and recuperating, he suddenly noticed that the three of them were approaching the convoy at an extremely fast speed. Among them, the two innate late-stage masters showed their aura without any concealment. Be on guard. Protect the prince. Outside the carriage, voices came from one side to the other. The carriage stopped and 30 factory guards quickly pulled out their embroidered spring knives from their waists. Form a formation and closely guard Lin Xuan's carriage. Don't worry, let the old servant handle everything. How dare you take action against the prince? The old servant will definitely let them die without any corpses, Lu Shi said coldly. Don't worry, I would like to see what kind of person is coming. Lin Xuan stopped Lu Shi, who was about to take action, and said calmly. Lin Xuan really didn't expect someone to attack and kill him, but he didn't know if the person was with Zhu Ying. Quickly, two mysterious people dressed in black robes, emitting an uncomfortable aura, stood in front of the convoy. The two mysterious men in black robes did not directly take action, but instead joked and looked at the factory guards, including Dan Zhua and Dan Wright. At this moment, Lin Xuan also walked out of the carriage with Yan and Lu Shi. Unexpectedly, the two mysterious men in black robes showed a greedy look in their eyes as soon as they saw the man walking out of the carriage. Big brother, I didn't expect this useless prince to be so lucky. There is such a stunning beauty beside him, said one of the black-robed men. TSK, his cultivation is actually quite good. Judging from his appearance, it seems that he is still a virgin. If he were to be used as a furnace cauldron and collect his elemental yin, he should have a promising future as a master. With such a beautiful woman on her side, she is still a virgin. This useless prince seems really useless. Another black-robed man looked at Lin Xuan with a disdainful expression and said. I didn't expect that this business was quite cost-effective and profitable. The two black-robed people didn't even take Lin Xuan and the others seriously when you spoke to me. But these words are really unpleasant to hear. That group of factory guards were all angry, but without Lin Xuan's command, they didn't take action. And the person next to Lin Xuan, with a cold face and a demonic aura, had reached the extreme. If it weren't for Lin Xuan holding her hand, she would have rushed forward regardless of everything. From the conversation between the two black-robed people, Lin Xuan also heard that they were aware of their identities. Who are you? Lin Xuan asked coldly. I saw the two mysterious men in black robes looking at each other, and then one of them grinned and said, anyway, let's just let you understand. I'm Sikong Kyo, and the person next to me is my second brother Sikong Imo. Dark Ghost Road. Lin Xuan's heart trembled. In the past few days, I have read many anecdotes about the martial arts world, and the names of the Sikong brothers have appeared several times. The book records that both of them are criminals in the demon realm. As for the Dark Ghost Road, Lin Xuan also gained some understanding, as it is a considerable force in the Dao Jianghu. Ha! I didn't expect to know about our two brothers, Sikong said proudly. Who asked you to kill me? Lin Xuan asked with a gloomy face. Just now, Lin Xuan listened quite attentively to what the two of them were saying. It was obvious that they were invited by someone else to kill him. Before the Sikong brothers could answer, a figure appeared behind them. As soon as the person had settled down, he spoke up and said, I've seen His Highness the Fourth Prince before. It's not right. Now I should call him the King of Mount Imo. Lin Xuan looked around and saw that the person coming was a middle-aged man wearing a blue long shirt with a strand of long beard under his chin. When Lin Xuan saw the visitor's face, his heart trembled slightly. This person has a slight sense of familiarity, and I believe I have seen him before. Chapter 7. The Terrifying Method of Absorbing Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, the memories left by the predecessor are too vague. Although there is a hint of familiarity, it is only a hint. This middle-aged man in a blue shirt is obviously not a significant figure in the eyes of his predecessor. The middle-aged man glanced at the 30 factory guards guarding the carriage and then said, I didn't expect His Highness the Fourth Prince to hide so deeply. It's just a pity, I have to accompany His Highness to bury here today. I just wronged my younger brother Zhu, the middle-aged man sighed. Zhu. A cold light flashed in Lin Xuan's eyes, and he turned out to be with Zhu. Who exactly is it that wants my king's life? Lin Xuan stared at the middle-aged man and asked. Ha! Didn't brother Zhu say anything before he died? The middle-aged man's face surprisingly showed a hint of suspicion. Upon hearing these words, Lin Xuan felt a hint of helplessness. Zhu may have said it, but he didn't have time. Since your highness doesn't know, it's better to be a bit confused, the middle-aged man said with a teasing expression as he watched Lin Xuan shake his head. At this moment, the middle-aged man's heart is not to mention how comfortable it is. Being able to manipulate a prince of the imperial court into applause. The middle-aged man's heart was filled with excitement as he thought about the prince's tragic death in front of him. Forcefully suppressing his restless mind, the middle-aged man retreated backwards. Two sect leaders, I'll leave it to you. Fight quickly and make a quick decision. The middle-aged man stepped back and said to the Xikong brothers in the dark ghost road. By the way, that woman. The middle-aged man stood back and looked at the woman leaning against Lin Xuan. When the middle-aged man first arrived, he noticed. There's no way, it's just that you're too stunning. The middle-aged man believes that he has seen countless beautiful women in the Youdu City. But there are very few women like this who captivate people's hearts and souls in the Youdu City. If I were to dedicate this woman to my master, the middle-aged man pondered in his heart. But as Xikong Mo spoke, the middle-aged man quickly gave up the idea. We two brothers are interested in this beauty, Xikong Mo glared at the middle-aged man. Staring at Xikong Mo, the middle-aged man felt the air around him instantly freeze, and his breathing was a bit sluggish. It's easy to say, since the two sect leaders are interested, that's the blessing of this woman, the middle-aged man quickly said. He just came as an intermediary to negotiate with the two sect leaders of the Dark Ghost sect. How could he not know the reputation of these two people in the martial arts world? Alas, it's a pity. The middle-aged man looked at Yen with some pity. If it falls into the hands of these two people, there may not be any good outcome. Second brother, I'll leave these flies next to me to you. I saw that Xikong mistakenly said to Xikong Mo. Then Xikong Qiu flew up and charged towards Lin Xuan. Beauty, come and play with grandpa. That Xikong Qiu's murky eyes stared fixedly at Yen, their lustful eyes overpowering. At this moment, Yen was already furious. If it weren't for Lin Xuan blocking him, he would have taken action long ago. My cultivation level is slightly lower than that of Xikong. But with the mystery of the heavenly demon technique, it may not be so easy for Xikong to win. However, Lin Xuan will not let Yen take action. Because it's not necessary. I saw Lin Xuan pull up his jade hand and step back. Then he said calmly to Lu Shi beside him, Lu Gonggong, I'll leave it to you next. Upon hearing Lin Xuan's words, Lu Shi bowed and responded, I take orders. Lu Shi took a step forward and stood in front of Lin Xuan and Yen. As Lu Shi watched Xikong Qiu fly over, a hint of cruelty flashed in his eyes. Boom! Lu Shi, who had been restraining her breath just now, has no reservations at this moment. That represents the strong and domineering aura of innate perfection, revealing it without doubt. Innate perfection. Xikong exclaimed in surprise, rushing towards Lin Xuan's body and stopping abruptly. This sudden change completely stunned the Xikong brothers and the middle-aged man. This eunuch, who had never been noticed by them before, is actually a top-notch expert. Second brother, withdraw. These Xikong brothers have been wandering in the martial arts world for many years, committing all kinds of evil and still being carefree to this day. They are already knowledgeable about current affairs. The appearance of an innate great and perfect expert represents that there is no hope of killing this fourth prince today. Sikong Mo and Sikong Kyo had a perfect understanding, and they instantly unleashed their lightness skills to the extreme, charging towards the dense forests on both sides of the mountain road. Want to run? It's not that easy. Lu Shi sneered. I saw Lu Shi transform into a remnant and chase after Sikong Kyo. Lu Shi's speed was extremely fast, and in just an instant, he came behind Sikong Kyo. How could it be? Sikong Kyo was also frightened by Lu Shi's ghostly speed. The lightness skills of the Dark Ghost Road, although not top-notch, are still considered top-notch in the martial arts world. But compared to Lu Shi, it is much worse. Sikong Kyo felt a huge suction coming from behind him. My body involuntarily faced the old eunuch. Let me give you a taste of the Lord's suction technique. In the blink of an eye, Sikong Kyo was grabbed by Lu Shi. Big brother. Sikong Mo, who was fleeing in another direction, noticed that Sikong had fallen into Lu Shi's hands by mistake. He became very anxious and turned around, rushing towards Lu Shi. Good day. Lu Shi's eyes lit up as he saw Sikong Mo rushing towards him. I saw Lu Shi extending another idle palm and grabbing the void in the direction that Sikong Mo was flying towards. That Sikong Mo's speed has unexpectedly increased by a few points. What's the situation? Sikong Mo was shocked. Sikong Mo felt an irresistible suction coming from ahead of him. Sikong thought to stop, but couldn't do it at all. Soon, the Sikong brothers were both grabbed by Lu Shi. Sikong Kyo and Sikong Mo exchanged a glance, and the true chi in their bodies began to circulate wildly. It was obvious that they had used some secret technique. Your mouths are too smelly, damn it. Lu Shi said sternly. Immediately afterwards, the brothers Sikong Kyo and Sikong Mo felt that the true chi in their bodies involuntarily surged towards Lu Shi's body. No, the two shouted in terror. That secret technique, in this situation, naturally cannot be used. In less than a moment, the true chi in their bodies was completely absorbed by Lu Shi, leaving them empty. Chapter 8. Youdu City, I will soon return. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then, the faces of the Sikong brothers began to twist and their figures began to shrink. The two of them grew up and wanted to say something, but couldn't speak at all. In the blink of an eye, Lu Shi only had 2 black robes left in his hand. The flesh and blood of the Sikong brothers were completely dissolved by Lu Shi's suction technique. Lu Shi casually threw the 2 black robes onto the ground, his eyes slightly narrowed, and a satisfied expression appeared on his face. Absorbed the internal power of 2 innate late-stage masters, making Lu Shi's suction technique even stronger. And Lu Shi's cultivation is now within reach of his master's realm. All of this is accomplished between lightning and flint. From Lu Shi's attack to the killing of 2 masters in the Dark Ghost Road, it was just a matter of a few breaths. Shocked. Stupid. The middle-aged man stood straight on the side. Now I am completely dumbfounded. How could it be? What exactly happened? Prince, I am fortunate enough to live up to my fate. Lu Shi's body flickered and he returned to Lin Xuan's side. At this moment, Lu Shi had a flattering smile on his face, without any hint of a master's demeanor. Well done well, Lin Xuan nodded in appreciation. Lin Xuan was actually surprised in his heart. Although he had confidence in Lu Shi, he did not expect Lu Shi to be so domineering. Now, with such skilled guards by his side, Lin Xuan's sense of security has greatly increased. As long as the master doesn't appear, there may not be many days in the world where Lu Shi can compete. And the masters, whether in the martial arts world or in the court, are top-notch fighters. It's not that easy for my own imperial brothers to drive the master to become experts. Lin Xuan turned his gaze to the middle-aged man, who had finally come to his senses. With a thud, the middle-aged man suddenly fell to the ground in worship. Your Highness, spare your life. The middle-aged man kept kowtowing to Lin Xuan, begging for mercy as he kowtowed. In no time, some bloodstains appeared on the ground. That middle-aged man actually knocked his head apart. What just happened is really amazing. He never expected that there was a eunuch expert hidden next to the exiled fourth prince. This fourth prince, the city mansion is really too deep. Could it be your majesty? The middle-aged man guessed secretly. The more you think, the more fearful you become. The water in this imperial city is too deep, and the game between several princes cannot be participated in by this ordinary person. At this moment, the middle-aged man suddenly felt a bit regretful in his heart. Lin Xuan got off the carriage and walked to the side of the middle-aged man. Lin Xuan coldly glanced at the middle-aged man who was still kowtowing, and then said calmly, "I'll spare your life. I'm not that generous yet. Tell me, whose subordinate are you? To be honest, I will keep you a whole corpse." Lin Xuan's words completely cut off the hope of the middle-aged man. He actually knew that he would inevitably die today. However, there is still a glimmer of hope in my heart. Now, with hope shattered, the middle-aged man collapsed to the ground, his face pale and his eyes scattered. Second Prince. I was sent by His Highness Second Prince, the middle-aged man said with a pitiful smile, knowing that his death was coming to an end. Second Prince. Lin Xuan was stunned for a moment. The second prince of the Dao dynasty, named Lin Yu. Speaking of Lin Yu, his reputation in the Youdu City is extremely prominent, and his authority even approaches the crown prince, always posing the greatest threat to him. Moreover, according to rumors, there is hidden support behind Lin Yu from the top-ranked for symbols demon palace in the world of magic. Lin Yu is deeply involved in the demon realm. If it were the second prince Lin Yu, it would be quite easy to find two masters of the dark ghost sect. Lin Yu. Lin Xuan gritted his teeth. Why did Lin Yu want to kill me? I don't think I have any grudges against him, Lin Xuan asked again. This is the biggest question that has been hovering in Lin Xuan's heart in the past few days. My identity is just that of an exiled prince, and theoretically, I have nothing to do with the throne anymore. Especially when growing up in the cold palace, I don't even have any influence in the Youdu City. But why did this second prince actually kill himself? For safety reasons, we even arranged a trump card and invited two innate late-stage magic masters. Even though Lin Yu has a wide range of friends in the demon realm, the cost of hiring these two experts in the dark ghost realm will not be low. This is not something that the villain knows. The villain is just acting on orders, the middle-aged man replied dejectedly. Without an answer, Lin Xuan didn't mind either. Just know who your opponent is. Lin Xuan's gaze extended to the south. The south is exactly the location of the Youdu City. Youdu City, Lin Yu. Wait, I will be back soon. With the support of the heavenly summoning system, Lin Xuan believes that in the near future, he will definitely be able to re-enter that vast and secluded imperial city. Lin Xuan is not the kind of person who likes to cause trouble, but when trouble comes to his door, Lin Xuan will not be soft-hearted. Single left. Lin Xuan shouted. I am subordinate. Kill it. Lin Xuan said calmly. No. Dan Zhuo led the order, grabbed the embroidered spring knife in his hand, and walked towards the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man looked at the approaching knife light, with a hint of sadness on his face. No wonder His Highness often says not to underestimate the fourth prince. The middle-aged man murmured to himself. As soon as the middle-aged man finished speaking, the tip of the knife had already pierced his chest. The middle-aged man plopped and fell to the ground, lifeless. Upon hearing the last sentence from the middle-aged man, Lin Xuan's heart moved. My predecessor seems to be hiding some secrets. Chapter 9. Marquis of Zhenbei, interesting, seeking fresh food. You are listening at novel full.audio. After leaving the Yuanxi Valley, one completely enters the northern realm of great tranquility. The Mo Mountain City is getting closer and closer to Lin Xuan's fiefdom. As soon as you enter the northern realm, the feeling you give is immediately different. The northern boundary reveals a hint of richness and vastness. Even the number of warriors on the road gradually increased. After 2 more days of walking, a towering city gradually emerged in front of the road. Zhenbei City. The largest city in the northern region. In 2 days, Lin Xuan has elevated his cultivation to the 9th level of martial arts. The distance from the innate realm is now just a step towards the door. Lin Xuan is confident that when he arrives at Mo Shan City, his cultivation will also reach the innate realm. Lin Xuan couldn't help but sigh. The transformation of his body by the creation pill was too powerful, and his cultivation was almost without any bottleneck. Now, in Lin Xuan's Dantian, a trace of Qiankun Gang Qi has been cultivated. That trace of Qiankun Gang Qi is quite domineering, and the rest of the ordinary true Qi is quite afraid of it. Sigh. Suddenly, the carriage came to a stop. Your Highness. Outside the carriage, a single left voice could be heard. What's up? Lin Xuan asked. Your Highness, there is someone seeking to see you ahead, replied Danzua. Who is that? Lin Xuan asked in confusion. He claims to be the general manager of the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei and is waiting here for His Highness at the order of the Marquis of Zhenbei, said Danzua. Lin Xuan lifted the curtain of the carriage and looked ahead. I saw a team of people and horses waiting in front of the road. Lin Xuan nodded and said, let him come over. The Marquis of Zhenbei is now the undisputed land hegemon in the northern region of Dao. It can be considered as a local vassal, with great influence in the military. Under his command, there are 300,000 troops from the north, who are incredibly brave. Several princes in the court are trying to win over this Marquis of Zhenbei. But the attitude of the northern Marquis of this town is quite perfunctory, and he has not stood in line so far. Soon, Danzua brought an old man to Lin Xuan's front. I saw the old man with a strong physique and sparkling eyes, clearly also a master. Now that Lin Xuan has achieved success in his cultivation, he can tell at a glance that this old man's cultivation level is 8th grade in martial arts. Xiaodeguang, the general manager of the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei, paid his respects to King Mozhan. The old man walked up to the carriage and bowed. I have received the order from the Marquis of Zhenbei and am waiting for the prince here. I also request the prince to move to the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei. I have ordered the servants of the mansion to hold a banquet inside the mansion to welcome the prince. Xiaodeguang continued. Where is the Marquis of Zhenbei? Lin Xuan glanced at Xiaodeguang, his eyes slightly cold, and then covered the car's curtains again and asked. As for the prince's words, now Jinghua is restless and intends to raise troops again. The prince went to the border a few days ago and cannot come to pick him up. Please forgive me. Xiaodeguang said calmly. Xiaodeguang said to ask for forgiveness, but his words showed a nonchalant attitude. Very good. Lin Xuan sneered. The northern marquis of this town clearly didn't take himself seriously as the prince. Xiaodeguang, who is said to be the general manager of the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei, is probably just an ordinary steward. The Marquis of Zhenbei is obviously just putting on a show. It's said to be a border patrol, but who knows if it's true or false. If it's not convenient for the prince, the Marquis has prepared a small gift and asked the prince to accept it with a smile, continued Xiaodeguang. Get lost. Lin Xuan was too lazy to listen to Xiaodeguang's chatter and scolded directly. Xiaodeguang was momentarily stunned. Surprisingly, someone dared to speak to him like this. In the town of Zhenbei, apart from the big shots in the mansion, the rest of the people were not respectful to him. This Mo Mountain King may sound like a prince, but no one knows that he is just a useless prince, a celestial evil lone star, who has been driven out of the underworld. Xiaodeguang had never taken Lin Xuan seriously before, but at this moment Lin Xuan asked him to leave, and he couldn't help but feel angry in his heart. Okay, great. Xiaodeguang turned around and walked away, sneering as he walked. Xiaodeguang had already begun to ponder in his heart that he would have to find a way to go to Mo Mountain and properly humiliate this useless prince. He noticed that the left, right, and left were all experts, and now they are in front of Zhenbei City, but the timing is not very good. However, in the future, there will be plenty of opportunities. Here, the emperor is far away, and the Marquis of Zhenbei is the largest. As long as I don't kill this little prince myself, there shouldn't be any problem. Just as Xiaodeguang continued to think about how to trouble Lin Xuan in the future, Lin Xuan in the carriage spoke up again. Single left, single right. My subordinates are here, responded Dan Zhua and Dan Right in unison. Kill me. No. Single left and single right, with a hint of bloodthirsty in their eyes. Immediately afterwards, both of them started simultaneously. How dare you? Xiaodeguang exclaimed in surprise. The answer to him was the sharp blade light of the embroidered spring blade. In an instant, Xiaodeguang's neck was cut off by the blade light. A head fell to the ground until death, and Xiaodeguang's eyes were still open, revealing a hint of disbelief. Xiaodeguang has an 8th grade cultivation, but he doesn't even have a chance to fight back. Because what happened so suddenly? After killing Xiaodeguang, the convoy continued to move forward, but as for Zhenbei City, Lin Xuan had no intention of entering. And the gifts brought by Xiaodeguang were naturally accepted by Lin Xuan. On the roadside, several servants from the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei looked at each other. Inside the carriage, Lu Shi spoke up and said, Your Highness, the people in the dark have left. Lin Xuan nodded and looked towards the north town. This Marquis of Zhenbei is a bit interesting. Chapter 10. Arriving at the Enclave. You are listening at novel full.audio. When Xiaodeguang had just arrived, Lu Shi felt a master from the innate realm hidden in the dark. In front of the northern city of this town, there are experts from the innate realm. It's hard to say that it has nothing to do with the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei. However, that person was only hiding in the dark, and his qi was only leaking a trace, and he did not show any killing intent. So, Lin Xuan doesn't intend to pay attention. Unfortunately, Xiaodeguang was too arrogant. In addition, the actions of the northern Marquis of this town also made Lin Xuan very dissatisfied. That's why Dan Zhua and Dan Right were asked to kill Xiaodeguang, which can be considered as a response to the Marquis of Zhenbei. A mere 8th grade martial artist, if he dies, he will die. I don't think the Marquis of Zhenbei will care. Marquis of Zhenbei, Xiao Mingyuan. Lin Xuan muttered the name inside the carriage. The Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei has been rooted in the northern region for 100 years, and there are countless experts in the mansion. And Xiao Mingyuan himself is also a world.Renowned master. Lin Xuan had no intention of being involved with the northern Marquis' mansion in this town, but now it seems that after arriving in the northern territory, he may inevitably have to deal with the northern Marquis' mansion. Killing Xiaodeguang was just a small incident for Lin Xuan as he passed through Zhenbei City, and the carriage continued to move towards Mo Mountain City. In the center of Zhenbei City, there is a magnificent mansion in the city. This is the Zhenbei Marquis' mansion, whose reputation intimidates the entire northern region. At this moment, Marquis Xiao Mingyuan of Zhenbei is sitting upright in the study of the mansion, flipping through some documents. Xiao Mingyuan is a dignified middle-aged man with a Chinese character face and a 3-inch long beard under his chin. Sitting there, the whole person exuded a majestic aura, as if it were a big mountain. Lin Xuan's guess was correct. The Marquis of Zhenbei did not go to inspect the border, so he stayed among the Marquis of Zhenbei. All of Xiaodeguang's words were fabricated. Xiao Mingyuan himself did not have the intention of welcoming Lin Xuan. Because in Xiao Mingyuan's view, Lin Xuan, the useless prince, had no need to welcome him. Marquis. At this moment, a man in black suddenly appeared in the study. Xiao Deguang is dead, he was killed by that young prince, said the man in black without any emotion. Xiao Mingyuan, who was flipping through his Chinese book, showed a hint of shock on his face, but soon returned to normal. The man in black quickly spoke up about what had happened outside the town's northern city. Do you think there are skilled guards next to the fourth prince? Xiao Mingyuan was somewhat surprised. Yes, there should be 2 experts from the innate realm in the carriage. One of them is quite powerful, and although he has restrained his breath, his secret method is still being explored. That person's cultivation is above mine, so I am not too close, said the man in black. It's a bit interesting, it seems that this fourth prince is not an ordinary person. The rumors are not true. Xiao Mingyuan put down the document in his hand and sighed. But if you dare to kill the people from the Marquis' mansion in Zhenbei, you really don't give me face, said Xiao Mingyuan with a hint of anger. Marquis, should I go to Mo Mountain to arrange a lesson for this young prince? The man in black quickly said when he saw Xiao Mingyuan getting angry. No need, Xiao Mingyuan waved his hand. Mo Mountain is just a small town, let him go there and make trouble. These royal children are all troublesome, it's better not to pay attention to them. However, the face of this Marquis is not to be trampled on by anyone. Alright, you can pass on the news of the fourth prince to the Youdu City, especially regarding the fact that there are 2 innate realm masters next to him. Forget it, let alone 2 innate masters. Just say one is innate, and the other is suspected to be a master. I think there are many people in the Youdu City who want to trouble the fourth prince. Xiao Mingyuan said calmly. Marquis is wise, the man in black said in admiration after listening to Xiao Mingyuan's words. Alright, you step back. Xiao Mingyuan picked up the document on the table again and said calmly. No. The man in black responded and disappeared into a ripple in Xiao Mingyuan's study. After the man in black left, Xiao Mingyuan suddenly stood up and walked to the window. It seems that 18 years ago, that rumor may have been true. Xiao Mingyuan whispered to himself, with a hint of fear on his face. Mozhan City, located in the east of the northern border, is named after a mountain range called Mozhan. Mozhan City is not large, with a population of only about 100,000 people. On the 3rd day after leaving Zhenbei City, Lin Xuan and others arrived at Mozhan City. Looking at the somewhat dilapidated city ahead, Lin Xuan's heart was filled with joy. This is my king's fiefdom. Lin Xuan was a little excited. Although Mozhan City is dilapidated, it cannot be compared to Zhenbei City, let alone Youdu City. However, starting from today, this city will be owned by Lin Xuan. How to look at and like one's own things. As for the worn-out items, they can be repaired in the future. Just as Lin Xuan was preparing to enter the city, the system that had been inactive for several days suddenly rang in his mind.